The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to regain our natural health and get back some of our freedoms and our rights. And it's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater. In fact, 76 degrees, going up into the mid-80s today, and it's clear skies, partly cloudy. So it's going to be a beautiful day. If you have any questions or thoughts about the show, you can contact me at nico@tfnn.com, and you can reach Paige, even though she's not here. She's at the Bulletproof Conference, leaving for Pasadena this morning. So she'll have lots of information when she gets back. You can reach her at Paige@tfnn.com. And we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. Yeah, so I'm loaning it today, so bear with me a little bit. Wanted to talk a little bit about diet today, just basically, you know, all the different types of diets, because one of the things I kind of think about is how did it all start? I mean, when did people start thinking about what should I eat? I mean, most naturally, people just went out and got food, and that was pretty simple. And I guess somewhere along the line, maybe they had trouble getting the meat or something like that, because we know our ancient ancestors, hunter and gatherers, were mostly all about the meat, and the secondary thought was the vegetables and the fruits and things like that, probably fruits first. Although back in the old days, we know that fruits were a lot smaller, a lot denser, probably a lot more bitter. And as we've gotten along, that we've really made them sweeter, because that's the kind of taste we like. We always are drawn to the sweets, and no wonder that honey was sought after and prized by our ancient ancestors, and still today, of course, that's true. So maybe somewhere along the line they were eating meat. It was hard to get. Of course, it's more dangerous, so men go out hunting. They haven't come back for a while, and the women are gathering these other things and starting to eat them, and probably learning really how to use these things. Because as we were finding out, we had a show the other day, excuse me, about vegetables. Are they really necessary? And of course, we think today that they do play an important role, but there have really been no scientific studies done to give us what the benefits are over the meat, because pretty much we can get all our vitamins and minerals and everything we need from the meat. So along the lines, of course, we know that maybe 10,000 years ago in the Middle East, maybe 2,000-3,000 years ago in Europe, and maybe 500-600 years ago in America, people switched over to eating a more diet that's based on what we call agriculture. Agriculture is basically just farming, and I think in our modern world, we've really taken it to the next level, where we farm just one single crop. And we know, I was in the pest control business for years, and we know that if you take plants and disperse different plants, you're not going to have a big bug problem. You're going to have a big bug problem if you plant just one thing, because the insects see this, and of course they increase their population because of that. Lots of things happen. So let's go over some of these diets, and the first one I want to start with is called the low-calorie diet. And I think this is probably one of the first diets that was ever out there. Examples of this is the Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Slim Fast. The idea behind this diet is to eat fewer calories than your body needs, so that the excess body fat can be burned for energy. So the strategy is really just to count your calories. Not any restrictions on food, so that's kind of like a benefit. It works for a lot of people. Plans are easy to understand because they're structured. Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig offer a lot of personal support, and they also provide meals and snacks, which are really convenient. The problem with the diet is that it works for weight loss, but they really tend not to improve your health. It's really not geared on health. So some of these diets really include a lot of unhealthy foods. Because the fat is high in calories, these diets usually encourage low-fat eating, which is really not necessary for weight loss. It really increases your chances for hunger, and it encourages people to really eat higher amounts of carbohydrates. These diets allow the refined carbohydrates, such as sugar and flour. So the following issues can be, a lot of people are sensitive to carbohydrates, and if you're sensitive, you're going to have more hunger, you're going to have more fatigue, you probably get cold, difficulty losing belly weight, you get these weight loss plateaus, and also, and I found this myself, that your anxiety is up and you're irritable. The bottom line is that if you choose any kind of weight loss plan, it may be harder for your body and your spirit than other plans, especially if you're one of these people who are sensitive to carbohydrates. Next one is called the standard low-fat diet. Some people call this the low-cholesterol diets. These examples of this are Dr. Oz, the Zone diet, which is the 40-30-30 diet, Michael Rosen diet, Bob Greene, the Chef MD diet. A belief that eating fat and cholesterol makes us fat and unhealthy became popular in the 70s. And so the potential benefits of this is that people like this diet because you can eat the sweets and the snacks. So this is psychologically kind of reassuring. Some of the problems with this diet is they tend to be high in all kinds of carbohydrates. Even processed foods, artificial foods are usually allowed. The diet is not necessarily designed for weight management, although people try to lose weight on it or may try to maintain a healthy weight on it using the low-calorie version of this diet. This diet is low in fat and low in cholesterol, low in meat, and high in fiber. Some of the recommendations in this diet is choosing low-fat bran muffins instead of pastry, choosing slim milk and non-fat yogurt instead of whole milk and full-fat yogurt, choosing 8 egg whites over whole eggs, choosing whole wheat bread over white bread, choosing vegetable oils over butter, choosing fruit juice over soda, and choosing low-fat pasta over a steak. Some of the problems with it, depending on your choices you make, this diet can be higher in whole fruits and vegetables and lower in refined grains, such as white flour. So that would be better for sure. Next diet on the list is called the the low-fat whole food diet, and this is basically what the Mediterranean diet is. Macrobiotic diet falls in this category, and there's a couple of other ones that usually doctors recommend. The benefits of this diet is that it has a lot of research behind it. Okay, the strategy is to eat industrial kind of agricultural whole foods, low in meat, low in animal fat, and low in cholesterol and high in fiber. Also, there's a lot of potential benefits from that discourages modern processed foods besides the ones I just mentioned. Therefore, it's designated kind of healthier. Stick around. We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. And I'd like to remind you first to pick up Health Signals newsletter and, of course, the Primal Edge. And a nice article in our Health Signals newsletter on page 18 is about fulvic acid. It's considered the ultimate nutrition booster. We can benefit from fulvic acid when we take it as a supplement or acquire it naturally from coming into contact with more dirt or soil outdoors. As an active chemical compound, fulvic acid works in a way that can help us absorb and use other nutrients better. Because it's able to improve our cells' take-up things like antioxidants, electrolytes, fulvic acid has become popular for slowing down aging, improving digestive health, and protecting brain function. And of course, we have the fulvic acid in our Primal Edge along with the other acid, which is called the humic acid. So fulvic lets things into the cell, humic detoxes the cell, really necessary to get these vitamins and minerals inside your body and acting the right way. So please pick up some Primal Edge on that. So we're talking about diets. We're talking about all the different types of diets that there are out there. I mean, I'm sure there's more than the 9 or 10 that I'm mentioning here, but it's kind of mind-blowing that we're one of the few species on Earth. Like if you take a dog or a cat, you put them in the wild right away, they go out sniffing, looking for food, and they're scouting their territory out. And if they find something that they know is their natural food, they're going to eat it. However, as pets, we feed them differently. We feed cows differently. All animals that we take under our care and corral, so to speak, are not eating their natural diet too. And hence, we find dogs and cats have the same types of diseases that we do as human beings. And most of these diseases also started when we began changing the types of foods that we used to have as we were wild hunter and gatherers. So it's definitely changed. So we were on the low-fat, whole food diet, and this is basically post-agricultural foods. So foods from agriculture. Potential benefits are specifically encourage whole foods and discourages more modern processed foods and refined carbs. Therefore, the diet is definitely healthier than these other diets that I mentioned, which is the low-calorie and the standard low-fat diet. These diets can be high in complex carbohydrates like grains and legumes and starchy vegetables, which can pose problems for people who are carbohydrate sensitive. And I think most people today are, not all of us, but most of us are, because that's the type of diet we're kind of brought up on. This diet is low in the omega-3 fatty acids and high in omega-6 fatty acids. Therefore, supplementation is required. So one of the things that you can kind of put in your mind is that when they say nutritionally that it's not quite up to par with other things, then you have to supplement something. Not that I think supplementation is bad in itself, but you just have to think that we want our diet to supply as much as we can. So the few studies comparing low-fat versions of this diet, which is 10 to 15% fat, to higher fat diets, like 30% and above, do not show any differences in effectiveness. So the potential for health benefits seem unrelated to the fat content. Kind of interesting. Next is the vegetarian diets, and there's two versions of this, the regular vegetarian diet and the lacto-ovo vegetarian diet. These are promoted by Dean Ornish and Mark Bittman, I should say, and they improve health is among many reasons why people might choose to be vegetarian diet. The strategy is, of course, to go meatless. All foods are allowed except meats, and sometimes dairy and eggs are allowed in this. Potential problems with this is the deficiency in vitamin B6, vitamin B12, iron, and other mineral deficiencies, and a deficiency in the omega-3 fatty acids. Lacto vegetarians do not eat animals, but they do eat they use or eat animal products such as dairy products and eggs and things like that. Bottom line for vegetarian diets says no evidence has ever been found that removing meat from a diet improves health. However, there are many reasons why people choose not to eat meat. They may be religious, they may be ethical, and maybe environmental, and there might be economic reasons. Many studies of vegetarians find that they tend to weigh less, they tend to have a lower risk of heart disease, and because they tend to smoke less and drink less and exercise less, they're probably healthier than a lot of people. Eating a vegetarian diet can increase the risk of vitamin and mineral deficiency. And while vegetarian diets do not need to be high in carbohydrates, they tend to be high in carbohydrates because of taking out the meat, and they tend to be replaced with maybe starches, things like that. Therefore, if you're carbohydrate sensitive, you probably have a tendency to gain weight and lose control over your appetite. A lot of times people binge on different things, or they're grazing all day on this. The next diet is the vegan diet, and this is also called the raw food diet, and this is a very popular diet. Among the reasons one might choose to be a vegan is the belief that diet free of animal foods is better for your body. So eliminate all animal products, including the dairy, the eggs, the gelatin, and honey. I don't know why they eliminate honey, but I guess it comes from animals. Potential problems is, again, the vitamin B deficiency, the B6 and the B12. Iron and other minerals are usually deficient in this diet. Omega-3 fatty acids are also deficient. And fractures. So a lot of times, because of the loss in bone density, we find a lot of people on this diet have a fracture. I do have Tom on the line. Why don't you put him on right now? Tom, how you doing today?
Hey, good, Nico. How you doing?
Good. How's it over there across the bay?
Hey, it's great, man. It's
Good.
great. Just another beautiful day out here.
That's for sure. What can I do for you?
Hey, Nico, I noticed in your newsletter that supplement called CBD, Cat Blue David. I just wanted to get your take on that. I noticed that that cannabinoid, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting what that thing was doing there, how they were bringing that out. I mean, it's totally legit, totally illegal and everything.
Yeah.
But it looked like it, could stop, it's good for inflammation. I guess it's just some nerve transmitters in the brain and stuff, too.
A lot of studies being done on this, Tom, and definitely they're finding out epilepsy, even things like autism and things like that can be helped by the CBDs from cannabis. And I think we're going to see a lot more studies as the years go by, because now, of course, it's being legalized in many states, and Florida is one of them where we're going to get probably medical marijuana. It's on the ballot this year, and it looks like it might pass also. So I think a lot of benefits can be had from this. There's downsides to smoking, but now they have the eating and they have the vaporizing. So people have to kind of weigh these things and see if this is something that they want to do.
Right.
It's going to be prescribed,
also,
too, so that's the cool thing.
I was talking to someone the other day. This guy's around 65, 66, little Asian guy. I mean, he's in incredible condition. We got to talking a little bit. He says he takes honey morning and night. He says he'll take a scoop of honey in the morning and also one at night.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, honey is cool because it is processed in the liver, so it really bypasses most of the things that will spike insulin. So you really don't get that reaction in 99% of the people. So, yeah, I'd use honey quite a bit also.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for your call, Tom.
All right. Thanks, Nico.
Okay. See you later. Folks, we'll be right back. Pick up some Primal Edge, pick up our newsletter, and we'll be right back.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back to the show. So we're talking about all kinds of diets. We covered the low-calorie diet, the standard low-fat diet, which is also low in cholesterol, low-fat whole food diet, which is more of the whole food type of thing. We covered vegetarians, and now we're on the vegan diets, which is the raw food diet type of thing. And we mentioned that the potential problems were the vitamin deficiency. And many vegans tend to weigh less, have lower cholesterol levels than others, and it's unclear that if these trends are due to the lack of the animal foods or if it's due to other lifestyle factors such as the lower fat intake, the lower caloric intake, lower protein intake, or lower in processed foods. Vegans are at significant higher risk for a variety of vitamin deficiencies, and most studies do not properly control these variables. So a lot of times we find that vegans and vegetarians not only avoid the animal foods, but they also tend to drink less alcohol. They tend to eat fewer calories. They tend to eat less fat, eat more fiber, and weigh less than most of people who eat meat. So that's why the studies are hard, because usually they don't take these variables into considerations. So therefore, while vegans appear to be healthier in some respect than omnivores, it may or may not be due to their avoidance of animal foods. Next diet, and remember, all these diets were pretty much brought into the mainstream because of products that are attached to it. If you go to the low-calorie diet, you're talking about Jenny Craig and Slim Fast. We're talking about the low-fat diet. This was macrobiotic, a Mediterranean-type diet. So a lot of books were written on this. A lot of people were selling different products for this. Of course, vegetarian diets, Dr. Ornish, and the raw vegan diet, brought about by several different doctors, and a lot of people are drawn to these by the specific foods that are in these groups. Next is the low glycemic index diets. These are like the South Beach diet. Nutrisystem uses this, and Sugar Busters. The glycemic index was developed in the 1980s as a way to distinguish good carbs from the bad carbs by measuring how fast they enter the bloodstream. All carbohydrates eaten on this diet should be in the low glycemic index range. All other kind of foods are allowed, but the limitation is there. Glycemic index is complicated and it's hard to learn, so it's a problem for some people. A low GI diet allows all kinds of food, including processed and artificial foods, and therefore may not be that much healthier than the standard American diet. Low glycemic index diets do allow unhealthy refined carbs as long as they are low in the glycemic index. Fortunately, this means that the diets are lower in refined carbohydrates than standard diets, so a lot of them will eat the whole grains and things like that. Glycemic index, of course, is by definition 50 grams of pure glucose, which is a simple sugar found in the bloodstream and has a glycemic index of 100. All foods are compared to that standard. Usually, if the food is at the index of 50, it raises your blood sugar 50%. So overall, a low glycemic index diet is significantly healthier, more comfortable, and more effective than the standard low-fat diet or the low-calorie diets for most people. Interesting. I remember this one for sure. Next is the low-carbohydrate diet, and that's relatively new. Atkins really promoted this right from the beginning. People who use protein powders use around this. The low-calorie, high-fat diet is included in this. The ketogenic diet is included in this, and the Rosdale diet. The strategy of this is to get very low carbohydrates, about 50 grams or less per day, depending if you're a male or female. And the foods that are forbidden in this are all sweet and starchy foods. Potential benefits: the most effective diet for weight loss. Excuse me. It often eliminates cravings and food obsessions. Your energy may improve, your moods may improve, reduces the risk of numerous chronic diseases, encourages fatty foods, which a lot of people enjoy. You may not need to count calories on this diet, and it's the best diet for people who are sensitive to carbohydrates. Some of the problems, initiation can be difficult because you have that withdrawal period, the carbohydrate blues, as some people call it. Some people think it's socially challenging because it's hard to eat out. I really don't find that so much. There can be side effects depending on the food choices. Cheating once you get back on a few days or more. It was interesting because I was talking to my wife last night and she was mentioning that she had counseled somebody. They had asked her questions about diet, and Ellen told them the type of diet we were on. Why don't you try it for 10 days and see if you feel any better? A lot of aches and pains. Of course, she was overweight and things like that. And she came back after about a month. Ellen saw her again and said, "Oh, that diet was so good. I did it for 10 days and I lost 7 or 8 pounds and I felt so good." And Ellen says, "Well, you're still on it." No, I went back. Doesn't really make any sense, but those are some of the problems that we get into. We say we're going to do this for 10 days and then boom, we're right back to where we started. And some of the things you mentioned, she says, "Boy, I didn't have any food cravings, I wasn't hungry, and I lost 7 pounds in those 10 days. So everything was really positive, but apparently not positive enough to put her over the hump and say, this is the way I'm going to eat. Of course, she had lots of stuff in her house that were back to her old self. So that's one of the reasons when I started this about 8 or 9 years ago that I threw everything out that wasn't on the diet. Much easier for me psychologically not to have these things in the house. And consequently, from that day on, we really didn't have that much of our old food in the house at all. And of course, we don't buy any now. It's been long known by scientists that a very low carbohydrate diet are effective not only as a weight loss strategy, but also as a way to treat or prevent diabetes, epilepsy, and other common chronic diseases caused by insulin resistance. Again, they're not saying doctors know this, they're saying researchers or scientists. Because most doctors don't know this, it seems like. Bottom line is very low carbohydrates diets are best overall diet plans for weight loss, especially for those who are carbohydrate sensitive. These diets are also very effective in the management of type 1 and type 2 diseases. Low carbohydrate diets stabilize insulin levels, and therefore these diets can be used successfully to manage all kinds of chronic health problems, I should say, which are associated with the high insulin levels. So you can see how a low carbohydrate diet is one of those diets that really is a health promoting diet. And this is one of the reasons that I'm on this type of diet. We're coming up on a break, so I think I'll save the last couple for the next. I would like to remind you to pick up some Primal Edge, pick up my Health Signals newsletter. And I think I mentioned the other day that at the back of the newsletter here, I bring this up, I have a nice article on meal times, which what time is dinner? We're so used to having our 3 meals a day. It's nice to go back in history and see what really people were doing throughout the ages. So pick up the Health Signals newsletter and educate yourself a little bit, and a lot of fun articles in there and a couple of good recipes too. Okay. The number here is 877-927-6648. As I mentioned before, Paige is out at the Bulletproof Conference in Pasadena with Steve Aubrey and a lot of other people out there from the Healthy Fit Club went over there. I'm the one left holding the bag here, so stick with me, folks. I'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We're talking about different kinds of diets. Of course, we had one main diet before agriculture, and after agriculture, then we had the standard type of what we call a traditional diet. I lined up these diets kind of how they came about. So low-calorie diet came first, then we got the low-fat diet, then we got the low-fat whole food diet, the vegetarian diet, the vegan diet, low glycemic index diets, and the low-carbohydrate diet. So the next diet in line is the traditional diet, and this was a diet promoted by Weston A. Price Foundation, or Deep Nutrition, which is Kate Shanahan's book called Deep Nutrition. You can find Weston Price at westonaprice.org and Dr. Kate at drkate, that's CATE.com. Of course, the strategy in these diets is that this is how most people ate between the time of the birth of agriculture, about 10,000, maybe 5,000 or 2,000, depending on where on the planet you were, and the birth of industrial food. So about 150 years ago, we entered the industrial age. And so this is the food that traditionally was eaten by people mostly. And actually, what the big thing about this diet is the preparation for certain kinds of foods. So the foods are healthy meats, animal fats, and eggs from animals that are fed their ideal diets. Pastured, raw, fermented, full dairy products. Traditionally processed, soaked, sprouted, fermented grains and legumes, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, and discourages the use of seed oils such as canola, corn, and flaxseed, and no soy in this one. Potential benefits specifically encourages whole foods and discourages modern processed foods and refined carbs. Therefore, the diet is substantially healthier than the typical diet. Eliminates soy, which is a potential health culprit for many, many people. Traditional processing of grains and legumes to reduce the anti-nutrients in these foods and improves the nutrient availability of these foods. Compared to other post-industrial diets, this diet is much higher in the omega-3 fatty acids, much lower in the omega-6 fatty acids, and providing a very rich balance there. Potential risks in this is the diet is nutritionally rich. Therefore, if you're having trouble losing weight on this diet, you may have to reduce the fruits and starchy vegetable intake, the dairy intake, or maybe even counting calories. Of course, Weston Price was the dentist who studied the dental health of traditional societies all around the world. He found that people who were isolated from modern civilization had strong, straight teeth, free of decay, and that they were healthily, very healthy traditional people. They were healthier in general than people who ate the modern diet of today. He looked at what these diets of these healthy nutritionals had in common with others. And so that's how he came up with the diet, and he really delved into the processes that they used of pickling and fermenting and using the types of vegetables and grains that we use today and that our factory farms and people tend to get away from. Remember, if you're my age, you probably remember your mother soaking the beans and soaking their grains before they use them. And this is to get rid of some of those things that we mentioned. So traditional diet, really good diet, still using some of the agricultural foods, which I don't use anymore. But you can see that we're going down the road here. The low-calorie diet, much healthier. Traditional diet, much healthier. Next diet on the list here is the Paleolithic or paleo diet. Examples of this are the paleo diet, the Primal Blueprint diet, the paleo solution. Lots of different versions out there. A diet of whole animal and whole plant foods, free of dairy, grains, and legumes is what our ancestors ate for nearly 2 million years. Eating only pre-agricultural foods. So these are foods that are not farmed. Foods that are in this are, of course, meat, poultry, fish, fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, and eggs. This is a very simple diet to understand. There's nothing to count or memorize. Even children can easily learn this dietary pattern. Because this way of eating completely removes numerous known dietary culprits, including gluten, dairy products, artificial ingredients, refined carbohydrates, soil, alcohol, I don't know about, refined vegetable oils, and of course processed foods. Many people feel significantly better in lots of different ways. Because these diets eliminate vegetable oils and emphasize healthy animal fats, paleo diets have the healthiest balance of the omega-3, omega-6 reviewed. So of all the diets that we talked about, this is the one that balances everything better than anything else. This diet has a potential to reduce the risk for even reverse many of the diseases of Western civilization, since it essentially is an uncivilized diet. And I like the way they put that. This is a whole foods diet based on ancient foods that have been the staples of hunter and gatherer ancestors prior to the invention of farming between 5,000 and 10,000 years ago. Hunter-gatherer populations studied in recent decades have consistently been found to possess superior health compared to people who eat the standard American diet. So they do mention some particular problems here, and one of them is socially challenging. I don't find that, because if you go to a place eating out, you can really choose the best thing on the menu, which is usually the meats, and kind of eliminate most of the other things, the breads and things like that. And you can have alcohol or not. This mentions no alcohol, but I think our ancestors used alcohol and certainly seem to enjoy it. I know we do now. There's a controversy around whether the paleo diet should be low in saturated animal fats. And I find that not to be true. So maybe I'm more in between the low carbohydrate and traditional and the paleo diet. I find all these diets are getting more on the right track. And I think as you go through and study these things yourself, you'll find you're going to be in a variation of one of these three if you're really thinking about health and not thinking so much about losing weight or maybe the humane part where the vegans think that because you're not killing animals. So, you know, we as human beings really don't know what goes through the animal's body and mind when they're being killed. We certainly don't know, you know, how to humanely kill something. I mean, is that different than just slaughtering something? I think it probably is. So these are some of the things that you have to decide for yourself. But I find the whole process of the animal eating the grasses and the leaves and things like that, and then us eating the animal to get that nourishment is a much healthier way. For me, it's really changed the way I look at food, and it's really changed the way I think about things. And so I think more along the lines of our ancient ancestors, especially the American Indian, that worshiped these animals because of the food. And that's the way I tend to look at it. So it's a kind of a liberating thing. I have one more diet left, and this is called the food sensitivity diet. And this is the removal of potential dietary culprits. Maybe gluten, and maybe casein, which is a dairy protein, maybe soy or soy products, it may be corn products, including corn syrup, peanuts, nuts, eggs, fish, shellfish. So these are all foods, and there are many others that potentially can cause many problems for different people. So if you're into that elimination type of diet, this is a kind of diet that is kind of the gluten-free, casein-free elimination diet. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when I get back. So stick around, folks. I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
And welcome back to the show. So we're talking about diets and all these different kinds of diets, and we'll be discussing 8 or 9, 10 of these things, I think. And we're right now on food sensitivity diet, and this is, of course, to remove any food that might be a potential problem for you personally. They can be cause an impressive variety of physical problems. Just about any body issue can be brought about by irritating food. Some examples include migraines, rashes, stomach pain, sinus conditions, fatigue, digestive problems, problems, ankle swelling, insomnia, itching, restless legs, bloating, sore throat, muscle aches, reflux, asthma, ADHD, and dark circles under the eyes. These are essentially diet experiments that people do on themselves to try to figure out what's going wrong here. These diets can be frustrating. They take patience. You know, some things crop up right away. Sometimes the symptoms you can see immediately. Sometimes they take a few hours. Sometimes they may take weeks. And this is what we often said about the grains. You know, when we're eating these small seeds that are packed with things in it to discourage it being eaten, because a seed is the lifeblood of the plant. It wants the fruit to be eaten, but not the seed itself. Seed, normally, if you just eating the fruit and you swallow the seeds, they'll come out the back end and you got fertilizer, everything in one place. So it works out really well. But if you start grinding them up, then you've got all these things in there. And that's one of the reasons I believe that the Chinese and the Japanese people use white rice for many, many thousands of years, because they understood that the bad parts were in the outer parts. And so if you're eating the brown rice, it may not be as healthy as the white rice, although I contend that both of them are not healthy at all. So this gives you an idea of a track to run on and where to go. I suggest that the food-sensitive diets, the traditional diets, the paleo diets, and the low carbohydrate diets are somewhere where you want to end up, because I think the research is showing now that these tend to be a lot healthier. To go full bore, then you go really back to our ancient ancestors. And once you go back there, if you do that for a few months, then you can kind of tweak and enter new foods into the realm to really see what happens to your body. And I think you'll come to the conclusion sooner or later that you're on the right diet by how you feel the next day. Keeping a journal is very good for that too. Now, I do want to mention, too, that if you've been listening to the show, I've been on this cleanse for the last 9 weeks where I do these coffee enemas and do 3 enemas in a row, having a bowel movement before, then doing the 3 enemas. First one to clean you all out, the second one using coffee enemas, the second one to really get up there deep, and the third one to finally clean everything. And it's been going along really well. Twice a week I do this, and then the 9th week, and I've heard of this happen before, where all of a sudden you get a discharge or a void and it's completely black. And that's what happened to me in week 9. It was quite shocking. I mean, the toilet was completely black. I goes, oh my God, that was inside me. So it was quite eye-opening. And then on Wednesday, when I did my regime, then it was the last one was completely clear. So we'll see what happens from here. But I am really happy I'm doing this, because I really do feel the high energy from it, and I feel really clean, of course, and along with my diet, I'm feeling better and better, and of course the saunas that I'm taking. So I encourage people to look into these things and find out if this may be something that you want to do to really go to the next step to be healthy, because we know there's lots of poisons in our food, in our soil, in our air, in our water, and just our social structure just brings these things about. So I appreciate everybody sticking around. Thanks a lot. Paige will be back, I hope, for the next show. She's in California right now at the Bulletproof Conference. She may go up and see some friends up in north of California. Don't know yet, but whatever happens, I'll be here. And thanks a lot for sticking around. And you folks have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.